Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the last final section, which is, last is always the final, of our set review is no other than the artifact. So, to preface it, this is a section which has six of the power nine out of the nine, right? So, one thing. Two, it's basically the most broken cards are kind of in this section, some of them at least. So yeah, so enjoy. This is kind of glue that I think holds together this cube, and a lot of build around, a lot of interesting stuff to make happen here. So this is absolutely like a must watch, and maybe that's a section which evolve with the cube a little bit, but it already has a lot of good stuff going on. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So we have Ankh Mishra, which is 2 mana artifact, and it's a very, very good aggressive card. So it does 2 damage to anyone who puts a new land into play. So yeah, if you plus it on turn 2, your opponent is gonna take like 10 damage from this thing before, and especially in limited. In limited, if you are like, this is the card that makes aggro decks. If Boros is a thing in this limited format, that's because of Ankh of Mishra. Like, yeah, like it's very, very strong in constructed, and every constructed deck plays like at least 4 main deck artifact removal or even more, and this is a significant card in that format. Yeah, where people have a way to kill your Ankh of Mishra. In limited where they don't, yeah, they can easily lose to this card. So Basalt Monolith, so this was the joke with power artifact, 3 mana, tap for 3 mana, and you can untap for 3 mana. So it's kind of mana neutral, but it ramps you at least once every 2 turns, except if you have power artifact, because then it generates infinite mana, and then you can fireball them or kill them with any X spell. So yeah, there you go. Basalt Monolith for you. Black Lotus, this is Black Lotus. This is the OG, this is the thing, this is the real deal. It's a 0 mana colorless artifact. You can sack it and you add 3 mana to your mana pool of any one color. So this is land Black Lotus 4 drop. That's one way to win a limited game. So yeah, this is an iconic card. If you draft it, you always first pick it, and you enjoy, because casting a Black Lotus is a unique life experience which not everyone has. Black Mana Battery, so it's a 4 mana artifact, and this is so that's a lot of mana, but this is one way to fix your mana in this format. So it's 2 and a tap, put one counter on Black Mana Battery, and then for tap, add black to your mana battery, remove as many counters as you wish. For each counter remove, you can add another black. So this not only fixes but also ramps. First you need to charge it up, but as long as you keep charging it, you can get bigger and bigger things out of that. Good with drain life, stuff like that. So the mana batteries are kind of part of the cycle. Every color has one. So if you are splashing a color, you want to pick up that mana battery and then go from there. Blackwise, yeah, so Blackwise is 1 mana. If an opponent has more than 4 cards in hand during their upkeep, they get to take 1 damage for every card. So this is also an amazing Boros aggressive start, because their opponent takes like 7 damage already just from Blackwise, and then your creatures start hitting them. And Boros has also a lot of lightning bolt type effects. So yeah, so the aggression starts with Blackwise. Blue mana battery, we talked about it, it's a mana battery. Brassman, so it's a 1 mana, 1/3, which is a very good defender. And then it does not untap as normal, so you need to pay 1 life to untap it, but you're not really gonna attack with this. This is there to really get you through the early game against aggression, and then you go from there. Celestial Prism, so it's a 3 mana, and then for 2 it provides 1 mana of any color. Yeah, so this is fixing. That's really what it is. Chaos Orb. One thing on the Celestial Prism, I don't know if you need to tap it though. Yeah, you need to tap it. So it only fixes 1 mana. You can just go nuts with it. That you have like 10 land and you make any colors. So Chaos Sword, so this is a mechanically unique card, and we're gonna play it the way it's intended. So it's a 2 mana artifact. You can spend 1 mana, flip it from a feet above the table, and if it hits any card, that card is destroyed. So this needs actual skill, but if you get the flips correctly, then yeah, this is basically an unconditional removal of any card. Like you can flip it over a land too. So yeah, so there you go. Clay statue. So it's a 4 mana 3/1, and for 2 colorless mana you regenerate it. This card is very annoying, probably. So yeah, Clockwork Avian. It's an 0/4 for 5 flying. Put 4 1/1/0 counters on Avian. After Avian attacks or blocks, a creature discount a counter during his or her upkeep. Controller may buy back lost counters for 1 mana per counter. This taps the Avian. So yeah, so you can charge it up. So yeah, it's a colorless flyer, goes into every deck, hits them hard initially, and then you need to wait a little bit to charge it back. I think it's a super solid card. Clockwork Beast, so it's a 6 mana 04, but it comes with 7 +1/+0 counters. It's a 7/4 for 6, which is no joke. And after it attacks or blocks, remove one of those counters. During your on tap, you can buy back lost counters for 1 mana, and then like you tap it. So it's the clockwork ability on it. It's just a 7/4 ground creature. Korra Golem, so it's a 5 mana 3/3. But this is also fixing. You can sacrifice it for 3 mana and add like red to your mana pool. So if you add like black and blue and want to splash for red for cast your Nico Bolas, this is one way to do it. Colossus of Sardia. So this is a 9 mana 9/9 trampler, and then it doesn't untap normally, so you need 9 mana to untap it, but it's a 9/9 trampler. So digest that, ladies and gentlemen. That's probably the biggest thing in this format. Copper Tablet, so it's 2 mana. It deals 1 damage to each player during his or her upkeep. That's another way to get very aggressive because you are not only hitting them with your creatures but also with copper tablets, black whites, and stuff like that. Cool card. Then we have Diabolic Machine, it's a 7 mana 4/4 that regenerates for 3 mana. Yeah, solid stuff right there. So that's a very annoying threat to get rid of. And then yeah, it's probably gonna attack very well too. Disrupting Scepter. So it's a 3 mana artifact, and for 3 mana, the like basically tap for 3 mana, and then they discard a card. Dragon Engine, it's a 1/3 for 3. It does not have flying, so note that despite of being a dragon, it does not fly. And it has 2 colorless for a +1/+0, so it has fire breathing. Faldon's Cane. So this is a 1 mana yeah, artifact. It's 0, reshuffle your graveyard into a library. If it's used, remove it from the game. Yeah, so they don't want you to keep looping Faldon's Crane, but it reshuffles you once, which is in limited, it's not nothing, because again, like decking could be a thing, especially if you had a deck with the wheel effects. Yeah, so this is a combo piece here. Stone, very good fixing. It's 2 mana. Add 1 mana to your mana pool. This mana could be any color on opponent lands can produce. So it depending on your matchup, but it does fix. Yeah, like it's interesting to splash with it, but it hits like a 60% chance. Otherwise, it still taps for a color, so it actually still ramps you. Force field, yeah, I mean this card is not job. Yeah, like, this card is very bad to play against. Like this is a 3 mana artifact, and for 1 mana you can reduce like an attacking creature's power essentially to 1. Like you're not taking more than 1 damage. Yeah, this card is super annoying to play against. So yeah, keep your disenchants at the ready because you're gonna need them. Gauntlets of Chaos. Yeah, so it's a 5 mana sacrifice Gauntlets of Chaos, and yeah, so let's read it through the actual thing here. So yeah, let's go to card page. So essentially, sacrifice this, exchange control of target artifact, creature, or land you control, and target permanent and opponent controls that shares one of those types with it. So the same type you can exchange, and yeah, so you can give them your worst creature and take their Nico Bolas. Essentially, what's happening here. Yeah, and then we have Grape Shot Catapult. So it's a 4 mana 2/3. Tap to do 1 damage to target creature with flying. Yeah, it picks up those 1/1 flyers. Green mana battery, we know this already. Howling Mine, so it's a 2 mana, each player draws 1 extra card each turn during his or her draw phase. So the joke with these cards, which are completely symmetric, that you have Relic Barrier, and the way these artifacts used to function back in the day, that if there was a permanent effect on it and it's tapped, that effect wasn't working anymore. So here the joke is that you tap your Howling Mine with Relic Barrier on your turn. So you pass the turn, and then they not gonna draw the extra card, but in your turn it's untap, and then you draw the extra card, and you keep tapping. This is a two-card combo for you to draw two. IC Manipulator, yeah, that's also another one to enable the combo. So for one, um, yeah, you can tap any land creature or artifact, and no effects are generated by target card, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of reminder text how these things worked back then. Ivory Tower, so it's 1 mana during your upkeep phase, gain 1 life for each card in your hand above 4. Yeah, I mean, it's a control card. Jade Statue, so this is a 4 mana, and for 2, it becomes a creature during the current exchange. It's a 3/6 creature, but it's not a creature unless you activate it. And yeah, so that's a interesting card. You need to be on combat with that, but yeah, it's a 3/6 creature, which is pretty good. Jalum Tome, so this is key to the Reanimator archetype because it's a 3 mana book, and then essentially for 2 mana, draw a card from your library and discard a card of your choice to a graveyard. So you draw a card, discard your fairy, and then try to reanimate it. So yeah, this is super key card. Jame Day Tome is a 4 mana uh, book also, and for 4 and tap, you may draw one extra card. This is one of the strongest source of card advantage in old school Magic, in constructed too. So when people can, play 4 copies of cards, like this is one of those cards they like to play. So this is super powerful. Yeah. So Jane Day Tome it is. And then we have Juggernaut, very good card. This got reprinted even lately, still in limited formats. It's a 4 mana, 5/3, and it must be attacking every turn if able. Yeah, that's how you use Juggernaut. Living Wall, so it's a 0/6 wall for 4 mana, colorless, and for 1 mana it regenerates. Yeah, this is very annoying card. Mana Vault, so yeah, so this is your 1 mana artifact that taps for 3 mana, and yeah, so it ramps you 1 time for 3 mana, and you need 4 mana to untap it, right? This is also a combo with power artifact because now it's like, well, it's not really a combo because you can only untap it during your untap or your upkeep, sorry. And yeah, so it can just like go infinite with it, and it deals 1 damage to you if you don't untap it. But it's very good at like playing on 1, and then on turn 2 like playing a 5 drop essentially. Yeah, that's one way again to win Magic games. Meekstone, any creature with power greater than 2 may not be untapped on the normal during untap phase. So 3 power or higher creatures can't untap. This is good for the aggro decks, right? To lock down bigger creatures on the opposing side if they ever engage to combat. So this buys you those turns to hit your burn spell essentially. Like maybe it's a sideboard card, maybe it's main deckable. Who knows? You need to see your deck. Millstone. So this is the joke with Field of the Dreams, that this is essentially enabling you to play a Lantern control deck, because Field of the Dreams let you see their top card, and then for 2 mana artifacts, for 2 mana you can mill them. Obviously, you don't see the next card, so yeah, so they might hit something underneath when you mill them too. But again, like it's a pretty good control because whenever you see anything on the top of the library, which would get them out of that situation, you can just choose to mill it. Mirror Universe. So this is a very important card in old school Magic, and I think it's probably good in limited too. So it's a 6 mana artifact, and basically what it does that you can in your upkeep tap it and sacrifice it. So the turn when you cast it, you can do it. You need to wait a full turn cycle, but you exchange life totals with your opponents. If they are the aggressive deck, you are the control deck. They put you down on life, and this is one way for you to turn this around and then finish them off with like a fireball or lightning bolt. Very powerful card. That there is actually constructed combo decks around this situation when you mirror universe them. Like you hit your life total down with City of Brasses and stuff like that, and then you mirror universe them and finish them off with a burn spell. So that's a legit strategy. Super powerful card. Then we have the Mach Cycle. So this is the other five on the Power 9 and the remaining ones. And these are unbelievably powerful cards. So every Mox is their respective color. I'm gonna put down the beta version because that looks good. Mine is not beta, mind you, but they look very good here in the collection. So let's do that. And yeah, so you have Emerald for green, Jet for black, Pearl for white, Ruby for uh, red, and Sapphire for blue. And they are zero mana artifact and they tap for one of that color. So that is also, especially today in Vintage Cube, it's unbelievable acceleration because the cards are so powerful today that getting a 2 drop on turn one is very very good, and let alone a 3 drop on some cases when you have other extra mana like an Ancient Tomb plus a Mox. Unbelievable starts are enabled by Moxes. And yeah, and they are fixing too. Like if you need a green mana in your deck, you can take a Mox, and then that fixes your mana accordingly. So yeah, so pick them highly, enjoy them. They are amazing cards. Yeah, and we have Neverose Disc. So this is your colorless board wipe. It's 4 mana for one, destroy all creatures, enchantments, and artifacts in play, and it begins tapped. But yeah, what is this? It begins tapped, but can be out as usual. Yeah, so you can't use it on the turn when it comes in, but after that you can blow up the board, or you can hold the board kind of hostage, right? Because you don't need to blow up the disc, but if your opponent knows about the disc, so they have to hold back. Yeah, if you have an advantage and a disc, then you're not gonna be able to lose that advantage very easily because your opponent don't really want to play out their cards, but they kind of have to, right? So yeah, disc is super good. North Star, so that's another way to fix mana. So it's 4 mana, and then for 4 and tap, you may cast one spell this turn by paying its casting cost with any type of mana. So yeah, 4 is a lot on this, but it does fixing your mana. So those like 3 color legends now could be going for any deck. With North Star in it, obviously still need to draw the North Star. But hey, yeah, it is fixing as bad as this. It does fix your mana on your ad, so it's a 3 mana 2/2, and when it dies, it gains 2 life. Yeah, good anti-aggressive card. Let's think. Primal Clay. So it's a 4 mana artifact creature which is super flexible. You can make it a 1/6 wall, a 3/3 ground creature, or 2/2 flying Windrake. Yeah, I mean this card is awesome in limited. It's exactly the card what you need it to be when you need it to be. Red mana battery. We talked about these. Relic barrier. So this is the relic barrier we talked about. If you have any symmetric effect like a winter orb on a howling mine, you use this to tap it, so making the effect asymmetric. Soaring, 1 mana, add to the mana pool. Every commander player knows how broken is a turn one soaring start. Add a 4 player table when you supposedly have 3 enemies. Imagine when you only have one enemy, right? And you're consistently 2 mana ahead of them. Like again, a way to win a magic game. Yeah, stalking stones or standing stones, yeah. So it's a 3 mana, and for 1 and a tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color to a mana pool. Um, yeah, I mean this is fixing. This is your fixing rock, and in this format you probably need this. Suchi, so it's a 4 mana 4/4, and if it goes to your graveyard, you get 4 colorless mana. Yeah, if it dies in your upkeep, you get a bonus, but it's a 4 mana 4/4, so it's easily castable, chunky body. That's really what you want. Then our remaining artifacts. So yeah, so there are some bangers here too. So Sword of the Ages. I'm gonna look at the actual Oracle text on this one. So it enters tap. It's 6 mana. There's a lot being asked here, but you can tap, sacrifice this artifact or any number of creatures you control. This artifact deals X damage to any target where X is the total power of creatures sacrificed this way. Then exile this one and those creatures as well. So this is like a mass fling effect. You can fling your board. So you can fling your board into them. That's really the joke here. And yeah, it is a cool card. Then we're gonna have, oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So we have Thanos' coffin, which also needs a little bit of reading here. So Thanos' coffin, it's a 4 mana. You may choose not to untap this artifact during your untap step. For 3 and a tap, exile target creature and all auras attached to it. And yeah, with every counter, and when it leaves or becomes untapped, return it back to the battlefield, and with everything else on it. Yeah, so this is good on your side if you want to retrigger an ETB. Otherwise, it is an Oblivion Ring, right? So that's really the joke here, that this has the Oblivion Ring effect. It exiles any creature. Then we have Tetraverse. So this is also an amazing card. This is one of the best cards in old school Magic. So it's a 6 mana 1/1 flyer. That's not why it's one of the best cards in old school Magic. It enters with 3+1/+1 counter on it, so it's a 4/4 flyer really. And at the beginning of upkeep, you can actually choose to remove one of those counters and create a top tier, right? Yeah. So and then the top tiers come off, so you distribute the love basically from this one. And you can also put the counters back, right? You can exile some of those tetralites, put back the counters. So yeah, it's like a very, very flexible card. 4/4 flyer is already good, and this gives you, all those advantages, right? So yeah, super, super cool card. And then we move to one of the, oh sorry, first the Hive. Let's go through the Hive. Because the Hive is one of those cards which is, the very early days. Like it just shows how good Magic design was. That Richard Garfield and team already thought about this token mechanic and stuff like that. So the Hive is that. It's like a 5 mana artifact and 5 on the tap. You create a 1/1 flyer, right? Which is also an artifact. So all this Sage of Latnam, every other shenanigans are triggered by the Hive. So yeah, so there's a combo potential there, but the fact that you can just make these tokens, and then you can use Army of Alak if you have like more of them. So you know the drill. This is your token maker, really. And then moving on here. So yeah, so we have one of the most broken card ever printed in Magic. This, if I need to create like a power 10 or more, like a power 15, this would definitely be in it. So this is Time Vault. So Time Vault is a 2 mana artifact, and tap to gain an additional turn after this one, which sounds incredibly broken. Obviously, the drawback here that it does not untap during your untap phase, and it comes into play tap. So you need to find a way to initially untap this, and then you can just easily what is this, tap it again and get the extra thing, and then you can actually untap it by skipping a turn. So there's two things with it, right? Like Twiddle is a card which untaps it, and if you have like Twiddle or Regrowth, Recall, you can play a Time War to Twiddle it, regrow the Twiddle, like get another extra turn, and then potentially veer through your library. So that's really the combo angle. And also the other thing too with Time Vault, that sometimes you can get, like, it's risky, but you can get free untaps. Like if your opponent is stumbling and don't do anything, you can just untap the Time Vault, right? And then they get an extra turn. Like let's say you see them missing land drop, and it's like, okay, yeah, like untap my Time Vault, you get an extra turn. Okay, but like that you are ahead, and then you're gonna have so the joke with that, right? That they on that they got an extra turn, but they couldn't really do anything. And then when you are in that position, you're gonna be at like 5-6 mana, and when you take your extra turn with the Time War, you get 2 6 mana turns, where they got like 2 2 mana turns, right? Like that's significantly different. So yeah, so that's really the joke here. One of the most broken card ever printed in Magic, and this is actually not in the vintage cube because it's too broken. Like Time Vault and any artifact which untap the vault or untap an artifact is actually an infinite combo, because you just take an extra turn, untap them again, untap the Time Vault, tap it for an extra turn, then untap in the extra turn, untap the Time Vault. So you get the idea. Yeah, unbelievable card. Triskelion, 6 mana for a 1/1. obviously the joke is here that it comes with three counters, so it's actually a 4-4, and it's a kind of walking ballista from 1993. You can remove a counter and deals one damage to any target, so you can shoot down things with this. If you shoot a two drop and a one, sorry, two toughness and one toughness creature, you are already at the money. And this is also, I think, yeah, I mean, you have to cast it, so there you go. That's not actually true that you can Thanos this coffee in this, but you can unsummon it and then cast it again or reanimate it. So there's a lot of ways to get value out of this card. Then we have Ursa's Avenger, so it's a 6 mana 4/4, which is chunky already. And for 0, you can -1/-1 it until end of turn, and it gets either flying, bending, first strike, or trample. And you can do multiples, right? So you can put two -1/-1 on it and give it like flying and first strike. So yeah, this card is very good. I think yeah, this card is like super solid in my book. Like it's flexible. You use it the way you want. Yeah, white mana battery. There's some mana battery and Winter Orb. So Winter Orb is another very good aggro card. It's a 2 mana artifact. Players can untap only one land each turn during their untap phase, and creatures and artifacts are untapped as normal. So what's happening here that you go 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and then they cost something. You Winter Orb, Lightning Bolt, that's saying, and then now they take a ton of damage because they can only untap one land every turn. And if they tap, 3 lands again, they keep on tapping one land a turn. So, like, yeah, like for casting a 3 drop for them takes like 3 turns. And you already have a board presence and they don't. This also works with Relic Barrier that you can tap your Winter Orb at the end of their turn. So you untap and they don't. Yeah, so that's like a solid combo that winning games. There are again constructed decks in old school built around this combo. Yeah, excellent stuff. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was artifacts for you. Lot of broken combo pieces here, a lot of exciting cards for basically any archetype. Your artifact section is very key to this cube, and evaluate them accordingly. And this is probably one of the best part of the cube. So I hope you guys got a lot of enjoyment from this, and see you tomorrow for battle.